Let's begin building our claims management process mining analysis from scratch. When you open Celonis Studio, you'll notice several pre-built templates you can use to jumpstart your analysis. But for this tutorial, we'll begin with a blank sheet to walk through the setup step by step. On this first sheet, we're going to add one of the most powerful components in Celonis, the Process Explorer. The Process Explorer gives you a dynamic visual map of the real process flow, based entirely on your event log data. It's perfect for uncovering how your process actually runs, including all its variations and detours. For now, this will be the only component on the sheet. Once added, let's rename the sheet to Process Explorer for clarity. Now we'll exit edit mode. This allows us to explore the sheet immediately without needing to publish it first. Right away, we see the most common sequence of steps in the claims process, starting with claim registration, followed by document verification, then settlement, approval, vehicle repair, final documentation, case closure, and finally, post-claim review. But, as we know, real-life processes rarely follow a single straight path. To uncover more detail, let's use the Add More Activities option. This reveals additional process steps that occur less frequently, but are still important for analysis. Now, we can see other variations like fraud investigations, claim rejections, subrogation, and more. We can also show additional connections between activities that aren't visible by default due to low frequency. Each arrow, or edge, shows the number of cases flowing through that path, giving you a clear sense of how common each variant is. To bring the process to life, let's switch on animation mode. This shows how claims move through the process over time, helping us better understand the flow and timing. We can also switch the metric from case count to throughput time to analyze how long each step takes. In this example, we'll switch from days to hours for better precision. The connections are now colored purple, and their thickness indicates where the biggest bottlenecks are, making it easy to spot performance issues at a glance. Now that we've explored the overall process flow using the Process Explorer, let's take a closer look at individual cases using the Case Explorer component. The Case Explorer allows us to zoom into specific process instances, so we can see exactly what happened in each one. Let's go ahead and add the Case Explorer to a new sheet. Once added, you'll see a list of cases. When we click on any case, we get a detailed view of its life cycle, including the exact sequence of activities, along with their timestamps and durations. This is incredibly useful when we want to investigate anomalies or outliers. For example, if a claim took much longer than usual to be processed, we can open that specific case and see where the delay occurred. Maybe it was stuck in approval or sent back for additional documentation. By clicking on any activity, you can view detailed attribute information, such as how values change from one step to the next. For example, you might see different users handling different activities within the same case. And as a final touch, let's rename the sheet to maintain consistency across our analysis. Now that we've explored the process flow and individual cases, it's time to take a closer look at the process variants. And for that, we'll use the Process Variant Explorer. Let's add the Process Variant Explorer component to a new sheet. This component gives us a clear breakdown of the different ways the process is actually executed based on the real event data. While the Process Explorer gives us a visual map, the Variant Explorer organizes that information into a list of process variants, from most frequent to least frequent. Each row here represents a different variant, in other words, a different sequence of steps followed in the process. You can select multiple variants at the same time, and they will all be reflected in the process diagram. Additionally, you can filter your entire analysis based on the selected variants. For example, if we choose a specific variant and click on Filter, Celonis will automatically apply a case filter, allowing us to focus only on the cases that follow that exact process path. As you can see, the number of cases has now been reduced to just 9% of the total. From this point forward, all components, including the Case Explorer, will only display information related to the filtered cases. In this lesson, we started building our claims management process analysis from scratch in Celonis Studio. We began by adding the Process Explorer to visualize the end-to-end flow of the process based on real event data. We explored how to interact with the process map, add more activities and connections, and use animation and throughput time to identify bottlenecks. Next, we introduced the Case Explorer, which allowed us to drill down into individual cases and view their complete activity history, helping us investigate anomalies and validate our findings. Finally, we added the Process Variant Explorer to analyze the different paths the process can take. We learned how to interpret the variant breakdown, filter the dataset by specific variants, and see how those filters impact the rest of the analysis, including in the Case Explorer. With these three core components, Process Explorer, Case, Explorer, and Variant Explorer, we now have a solid foundation to start identifying inefficiencies, uncovering root causes, and driving process improvements. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next session, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.